The NFL Conference Championship games, the Morning Wager is back, and we have 3 free basketball plays for you here on Monday. 2 in college, best bet in the NBA that Mark Zinno and I wholeheartedly agree on. Zinno, you're looking very stoic. You have not interrupted me yet. 20 seconds in the program, which is perhaps a new record. Is there anything you would like to say, or would you just like to get into your half of the double play?
As I told you this morning, I don't think I've ever been as depressed as I am on a Monday after a 4-1 weekend, 3-0 in the NFL, and cashing a 5% bet. I don't think I've ever been this depressed because all I wanted yesterday was the Buffalo Bills to win, and they didn't. And,
Did not. Lost again. Mahomes in the
oh,
Super Bowl again.
you know what the problem is? Like more than anything, and I've said this repeatedly, the NFL doesn't have to fix any of the officiating. You want to know why? Because I'm the only person with a pair of balls big enough to actually not watch the Super Bowl because I don't care now.
You're
You've
not
pissed
going
me
to watch
off
the
enough.
Super Bowl.
I'm not even going to watch. I'm not going to watch. I might pass. I might not even put out a single play for the Super Bowl
I can't
because
believe
it just, like the officiating is so inconsistent. It's so bad. You can't have one official mark it a first down and the other official not. And it just, I've said for years the forward progress rule sucks. Just get rid of it. You know what? How about where we put your ass on the ground is where you're down? How about that? Then we don't have to worry about did the ball get to the line or not. How about that? Right? We can eliminate all this tush push bull crap. Just where you go down, you're down. That's it. Enough said. So,
The problem with the tush
it's
push.
not the game was not well officiated. That's not the reason the Bills lost. Check my Twitter account. James Cook, not a single touch on the last drive. Like, I don't understand how some of these guys get to be coaches and coordinators in this league. They suck at this. There are so few good coordinators and coaches in the NFL. I don't get how they get these jobs. I really don't. Because each one of them, their ass puckers up tighter than you could ever imagine in the biggest moments of these games. It's just unreal. Andy Reid's the only one that does it right, which is why they keep winning.
Yeah, yes, and
So
I was about to say perhaps that is why the Kansas City Chiefs are in the Super Bowl for the 3rd straight year because
you
they
don't have
have
to
an
keep saying
outstanding
this.
coach.
It's
Well,
annoying.
I'm just,
You don't have
it's
to
the
keep saying
headline story. I apologize. All right, I can see you're salty, but nice weekend for you. I didn't have a great week. I did go 2-1 on Sunday, but the 3 days prior to that weren't was not my finest effort. So I was happy to at least have another winning week in the NFL. We'll talk more about that stuff later on, but let's get to the free picks, shall we, Mark Zinno?
Yeah,
Because
seriously.
college hoops, the Big Ten, we're both talking Big Ten basketball here in our respective halves. The double play. You will be taking us to Ann Arbor first, where the Michigan Wolverines, off a atrocious loss on Friday to Purdue, they're back home hosting Penn State. How shall we play this one? Bounce back for the Wolverines? Maybe they don't win by
No.
margin? Thoughts?
I mean, I am. Look, Penn State has struggled, right? Like they're 3-6 in conference play, and they've dropped some real, kind of gut punch games. But the one thing the Penn State Nittany Lions haven't done this year in conference play is lost by margin, with the exception of getting blown out at Illinois, where they shot 30% from the field and 16% from three. Haven't lost a conference game by more than 5. Lost by 4 to Rutgers, right? Lost by 6. I'm sorry, more than 6. Lost by 6 to Indiana. Lost by 1 to Oregon. Lost by 5 to Michigan State. Lost by 1 to Iowa. I mean, this is a good team. It's a good shooting team. And they make threes. As long as they're making their threes, then guess what? They have a great chance to stay in this game. Michigan really has struggled and has failed to separate, as you mentioned, not really winning a bunch of games by margin, but they're winning. I mean, Northwestern in overtime. I don't know. Michigan is good. I think they're very good, and their record tells you that they're very good. But when it comes to conference play, again, they win a home game by Iowa over by 2. I mean, I lost to a bad Oklahoma team. God, that was out of conference, but still.
That was
They
that
lose at
horrible
home.
4-point play at the end.
Yeah, they lose to Minnesota, which is the bottom of the conference. Struggle with Northwestern. Lose to Purdue. I'm not saying that Penn State's going to win this game, but I think they can keep it closer than 8.5. So you're in the Nittany Lions plus the points tonight.
And something that we've talked about before on the show, and I'll reiterate again, is home court advantage had been so strong in the Big Ten the last 2-3 years. This year, Surprisingly, not as much. So Mark likes Penn State and the points. Smash that like button if you agree. I too like an underdog in Big Ten play today. A little bit of symmetry here on the program, Zinno, with Big Ten underdogs. Iowa, Ohio State. Let's go to Columbus here. Look, I get that Ohio State is the better team, and they have a rest advantage. They have not played since last Tuesday when they upset Purdue. But kind of my read on this game, Mark, is very similar to your read on the Penn State Michigan game. This just seems like a big number for the favorite to be laying, especially a Buckeyes team that has yet to really win a Big Ten game by margin. They did before conference play got started. They did beat Rutgers earlier in the season by margin, but that's it when it comes to conference wins by margin. Ohio State 0-4 ATS the last 4 times they have been a favorite in conference play, and they have lost 3 of those 4 games outright, 2 of them here in Columbus. Furthermore, you look at Ohio State's recent results, guys, 5 straight games decided by 1 possession, 3 points or less. And get this, they have trailed by double digits each of the last 3 games. They were down by 17 at the half to Wisconsin. Came back for a nice cover for me on $5 Tuesday. And they trailed by 10 against Indiana, a game where they did come back and force overtime, but they lost outright as a favorite. And then last Tuesday, I mentioned they beat Purdue. Well, they were down by 16 in the first half of that game, Zinno. So do we really want to lay this many points with a team that keeps falling behind by double digits? I think not. Iowa is 0-4 straight up in true road games. But it was the same thing was true about Maryland going into last week, and we had no fear. We took Maryland plus the points against Illinois. They won outright. Again, I'm not saying Iowa wins this game outright, but I think they keep it close. The fact they haven't covered 4 in a row has given us some nice value on the Hawkeyes, who beat Penn State over the weekend by 1, but they led most of the way, I believe the entire second half, in fact. So Iowa plus the points is my half of the double play to go along with Zinno. Penn State plus the points. We think the dogs are barking, Zinno, in the Big Ten on Monday.
Rough, 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 rough. Rough, rough. Woof, woof. Bow, wow. Yippee-yo, yippee-yay.
Let the dogs out. We let the dogs out.
I just said, again, I'm so bummed about the damn. I would rather watch my ex-wife have relations with another man than watch the Eagles and Chiefs play in the Super Bowl.
Okay, I can't believe what I just heard. That is one of the most. You have said some shocking things on the program before, but for you to say that, I am aghast right now that you.
I mean, what is fun and interesting about this Super Bowl? Like, who's rooting for the meteor strike? Me.
No, I'll be at a party. I'll have a nice time. I'll be honest with you. I know which side. I have a strong take on this game already. Stay tuned for that.
Listen, I'm not even going to hide it at this point. Here you go. Free play. I already bet the Eagles on the money line because I hate the Chiefs. I feel gross and disgusting. I feel gross. Like.
Okay.
It was just like after a bad one-night stand, you just feel gross and icky, like you need a shower. You need a shower.
We've talked about slump busters before. Josh Allen needs a slump buster right there, doesn't he? I think he's a happily married man, though.
Do you understand how good this dude plays? Like, it's unreal. It's unfair that he can't beat this team because his coach is a moron.
You hate Sean McDermott, don't you? Admit it. Right now.
I hate the fact that forget the first down that should have been that wasn't by the refs. He should have challenged the third down spot because Dalton Kincaid clearly got over the line. Like, manage the game, bro. I get you don't want to waste the timeout, but dear Lord, like, get on top of it. The first down should have been there.
Occasions where it looked like the Bills had a first down and they moved him back a yard. You're right. Not just obviously the play everyone's going to talk about. There he is, Sean McDermott, looking at Mark Zinno from afar. I think he wants to fight you. Look at him.
I don't like him.
All right. Well, again, the NFL.
I mean, clearly, again, and you know what the hard part is? Like, honestly, like, here's what you have to think about too. And I'm just going to keep whining for a minute. To get Josh Allen to have another year like this is so hard. Right? Like, for any player to duplicate that level of production for his team and that level of, just utter putting everything on his back and carrying him is so hard to do in back-to-back years. It's so difficult.
I was just speaking with my father-in-law. He's a Detroit Lions fan, and he kind of has a similar thought. He's like, "What are we going to be? We're not going to be this good again next year. We probably just blew our chance at it." So there you go. Can't. Zinno, don't look at the screen right now. Don't look. Don't look. Keep looking down. Okay. There. Okay. You know what I think would cheer you up? Well, first of all, we should promote. How about I promote? Like I said, I had a tough Thursday
That's
through
gonna make me
Saturday.
feel better.
Okay. All right. But it is a 39-26 all sports run still. Like I said, 2-1 yesterday in the NFL. Kincaid. You're getting me all screwed up with these tight ends. Dallas Goddard. We had him over his receiving props. That was good. We had the teaser with the Eagles and the Bills. That was good. Noah Gray did not show up though. Could have been, was needed him to have one catch for 16 yards. Nope, didn't check into the box score. So we were 2-1.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna have one college basketball play today. Of course, go to wt.buzz/bp. That is where you will find the complete card. Is there anything you dare I ask, Zinno? Is there anything you would like to say about yourself? You're on a nice run. I think you should talk about yourself.
Nobody cares. Nobody cares. I will say again, we
I
had a good
care.
weekend. We're 4-1. Cashed a 5% bet.
Yes.
That was a no sweat winner by BYU. That was a good
There we
call.
go.
I was in this 2-0 and 5% plays in college hoops, so stay locked in. Yeah, 3-0 yesterday in the NFL. The Xavier Worthy rushing. I will say this much: if you guys bought my packages, it sounds weird to say that. If you subscribed, okay, and got my plays this weekend, Xavier Worthy over 4.5 rushing yards was probably the chef's kiss of a prop. I love that play. When I told you about it, I loved it. I mean, I said, this is a lock.
Did.
Knew it was
Wow.
coming. And oh, by the way, here you go. Here's another free one, guys. Bet it in the Super Bowl. Xavier Worthy over rushing yards. If it's a single digit number, like anything under 7, like when we get to like 8 or 9, because he might only get one carry in that game. He got 2 yesterday. But nonetheless, if you get like 7.5 or less, Xavier Worthy over rushing yards. There's another free one for you.
I'll tell you what, Mark Zinno, your generosity knows no bounds, quite frankly. All
Well,
right.
you know
Yeah,
what?
now that you're
When your heart is
what?
broken, when your heart is broken, it's best to do better for others. That's the way it goes.
Thank you. Okay, well, that's an interesting proverb there. Oh, there we go. Don't look at the screens at all. All right, now that I had him in a better mood for a second, and I was going to say nothing keeps a man in a good mood quite like talking about the New Orleans Pelicans and the Toronto Raptors. Certainly not the most marquee matchup on a Monday night, Zinno. But do my eyes deceive me here? Do I really see the Toronto Raptors listed as a favorite against another professional basketball team? What should we do?
Well, we know exactly what to do. We're fade the hell out of the Raptors here. Um, I look. The Raptors have been a favorite 3 times this year. Twice against Brooklyn and once against Atlanta. They're 1-2 ATS, 1-2 straight up in those scenarios there. The difference here is that this is a Toronto team that has won 3 in a row. You know what Toronto hasn't done this year? Wait for it. Win 4 in a row because they have been terrible. So we are playing against the fact that the Raptors, who at one point I think lost, what is that, 12 in a row and 19 of 20, something of that range, have won 5 of their last 6, including a win over the Boston Celtics. They just swept a road trip in Atlanta, which we talked about last week. And I don't see a 4-game win streak in the future for the Toronto Raptors. And look, you can bet on the Raptors at home. You can bet on the Raptors as a dog. Cannot back the Raptors as a favorite. The last time these two teams met back in November, New Orleans was a shell of themselves. They were obviously an injured team, a banged up team. They got off to an awful, awful, awful start. They lost that game 119-93 by 26. My math, dear Lord.
Oh, that was good. It's good.
That was really bad.
Missed that one.
26. 119-93. There was a lot of 9s in there. 9. Did I catch a 9er in there? Were you calling from a walkie-talkie? It's a cordless. Anyway, they lost by 26. So maybe the Pelicans got a little bit of revenge on their mind here. Pelicans starting to play better basketball. Again, I know their record isn't good, but this is a healthier version of them.
And remember, guys, wait till tip-off, closer to tip, till you find out
I
who's
know.
playing in this game. Because DeJounte Murray is a game-time decision. So you shouldn't make NBA bets any time before you know who's playing.
Oh, go get that crap off the screen.
It's to
Thank
see
you.
two young people in love, isn't it? That's what I always have to say. I'll add this to that
Care
best
about her. I
bet
don't
on the New
care
Orleans
about her.
Pelicans.
I don't even care about her. She has nothing to do with it. Nothing.
I was going to say something about someone that, perhaps you'd like to kiss Zion Williamson. Instead, I think he's going to have a big game tonight. I would take him over his point prop. He had 28 and 11 last time out. His point prop's only 21. I think he's going to have a nice game tonight, Zion Williamson, and he will lead the New Orleans Pelicans to victory. That is our show best bet as we take America against Canada. What else needs to be said there? Well, I know what needs to be said. Whatever you would like to say needs to be said. All of you fine viewers, please comment down below with your thoughts on Monday's card. And make sure you are subscribed to the WagerTalk YouTube channel. I'll have even more
Please.
NBA on the Power 5, which drops elsewhere. And Mark Zinno doesn't like that show because he's a very selfish and mean person.
No, I don't like that show because it's competing with this one. You don't just like
Competing, they're together.
You just break off from Van Halen. Is that what you're doing right now? Like,
no, I believe he was fired. Actually, to be honest with you, there was a lot of issues going on.
Regardless, come back to the band, Van Hagar. Let's go.
I will point out, I thought David Lee Roth's solo work stunk. Just a Gigolo is one of the worst.
Just a Gigolo?
Is one of the 5 worst songs ever made. I'm going to say it right now.
Was a good song, though. I did like Just Like Paradise. That was a good song.
Gigolo is so bad. How can you make that song?
The California Girls video was pretty good. When you were 11 and that song came out, that was like, yeah, that's what you want to do to the California
folks. Just a Gigolo. There we go. All right, we'll kiss you all goodbye. Thank you. Let's catch some tickets.